discover the profound wisdom of Napoleon Hill's transformational philosophy that has helped countless individuals completely reinvent themselves. In this deep dive, we explore Hill's revolutionary approach to personal metamorphosis, how to strategically disappear from your current reality and emerge as the person you've always dreamed of becoming. From his groundbreaking research on success principles to the psychological techniques used by the world's most successful individuals, this video reveals the step-by-step process for complete life transformation. What if I told you that the person you are today doesn't have to be the person you are tomorrow? What if complete transformation wasn't just possible, but inevitable? Once you understood the right principles, Napoleon Hill, the legendary author of Think and Grow Rich and one of the most influential success philosophers of the century, discovered something remarkable during his years of research, studying over of the world's most successful individuals. He found that every single person who achieved extraordinary transformation in their life followed a specific pattern. They learned how to disappear from their old self and consciously reconstruct their identity from the ground up. Today, we're going to explore Hill's profound insights on personal transformation and discover how you can apply these timeless principles to completely reinvent yourself. This isn't about surface-level changes or temporary motivation. This is about fundamental, lasting transformation that touches every aspect of your existence. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how to disappear from your current reality and emerge as the person capable of achieving everything you desire. But Napoleon Hill's journey into understanding transformation began when he was just years old and was commissioned by steel magnate Andrew Carnegie to study the habits and mindsets of successful people. Over the next 2.5 decades, Hill interviewed legends like Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, Alexander Graham Bell, and Theodore Roosevelt. What he discovered wasn't just a collection of success strategies, but a blueprint for complete personal metamorphosis that anyone could follow. Hill observed that the most successful individuals all had one thing in common. They had undergone what he called a mental transformation so complete that they became virtually unrecognizable from their former selves. They didn't just change their circumstances. They changed their entire identity, their thought patterns, their beliefs, and their relationship with reality itself. This process of transformation was so thorough that Hill described it as a form of disappearing from one life and appearing in another. The first principle Hill identified in this transformation process is what he called the burning desire. This isn't ordinary wanting or wishing. This is a consuming, all-encompassing desire that becomes so intense, it literally rewires your brain and reshapes your identity. Hill discovered that every transformed individual he studied had experienced a moment when their desire for change became so powerful that their old self could no longer contain it. They had to disappear from who they were to make room for who they needed to become. This burning desire creates what Hill termed a state of mind that is completely different from normal consciousness. In this state, your subconscious mind becomes laser-focused on transformation, automatically filtering out anything that doesn't align with your new identity, and magnetizing opportunities, people, and circumstances that support your metamorphosis. Your old self, with all its limitations, fears, and conditioned responses, begins to fade away as this new identity takes hold. The second crucial element in Hill's transformation philosophy is the power of autosuggestion combined with definite purpose. Hill discovered that successful individuals didn't just hope for change, They programmed their minds for it through specific mental techniques. They would repeatedly impress their subconscious minds with detailed images and feelings of their transformed selves until these mental impressions became more real than their current reality. This process literally causes you to disappear from your old identity as the new one becomes your dominant mental reality. Hill emphasized that this isn't positive thinking or wishful thinking. This is scientific programming of the subconscious mind, using principles that operate according to natural laws. When you consistently feed your subconscious mind with vivid, emotionally charged images of your transformed self, it begins to accept this new identity as fact. Your behaviors, decisions, and automatic responses start aligning with this new identity, causing your external circumstances to shift and change to match your internal transformation. One of the most fascinating aspects of Hill's research was his discovery of what he called transmutation, the ability to transform any emotion or experience into fuel for your metamorphosis. Hill found that the most successfully transformed individuals had learned to take every setback, failure, disappointment, or negative emotion and convert it into energy for their transformation. Instead of being defeated by challenges, they used them as raw material for building their new identity. This principle of transmutation is particularly powerful because it means that no matter what your current circumstances, no matter how stuck you feel, no matter how many times you failed before, you have within you right now all the energy you need for complete transformation. Every frustration you feel about your current life, every disappointment, every moment of dissatisfaction is actually potential energy waiting to be transformed into the power that will fuel your metamorphosis. Hill also discovered that transformation requires what he called organized thinking. This means developing the ability to think in new patterns, to organize your mental processes around your new identity rather than your old one. Most people remain trapped in their current reality because their thinking patterns keep recreating the same experiences over and over again. To truly disappear from your old self, you must learn to think differently, to organize your thoughts around the person you're becoming rather than the person you've been. This organized thinking involves developing what Hill called accurate thinking, the ability to distinguish between facts and opinions, to see situations clearly without the distortion of fear, doubt, or past conditioning. When you develop accurate thinking, you begin to see opportunities for transformation that were invisible to your old way of thinking. You start to recognize patterns and possibilities that your former self couldn't perceive. Another critical component of Hill's transformation philosophy is the power of mastermind alliances. Hill discovered that no one transforms in isolation. Every successfully transformed individual he studied had surrounded themselves with other people who supported and accelerated their metamorphosis. These weren't necessarily people who knew them in their old identity, but people who could see and support their new identity. The mastermind principle is particularly important for disappearing from your old self because it provides external reinforcement for your new identity. And you surround yourself with people who see you as the person you're becoming rather than the person you've been. It accelerates the transformation. Your old identity can't survive in an environment where it's not recognized or reinforced. Hill also emphasized the importance of what he called applied faith in the transformation process. This isn't religious faith, but a practical scientific faith based on understanding how the mind works. Applied faith is the absolute certainty that your transformation is not only possible, but inevitable once you apply the correct principles. This faith becomes a powerful force that dissolves the old identity and accelerates the emergence of the new one. You develop by faith, doubt and fear lose their power over you because you understand at a deep level that transformation is a natural process governed by natural laws. Just as a caterpillar disappears into a chrysalis and emerges as a butterfly through following natural laws, you can disappear from your current identity and emerge transformed through knowledge, following the natural laws of mind and consciousness that Hill discovered. The process of disappearing from your old self also requires what Hill called controlled attention. This means learning to direct your mental energy exclusively toward your new identity and withdrawing attention from anything that reinforces your old identity. Most people remain stuck because they continue to give attention to their old patterns, their old problems, their old limitations. To transform, you must learn to starve your old identity of attention while feeding your new identity with focused mental energy. Controlled attention is like a spotlight that illuminates whatever you focus on. When you consistently focus this spotlight on your new identity, it becomes brighter and more real, while your old identity fades into the shadows. This isn't about denial or pretending your current circumstances don't exist. It's about strategically directing your mental energy toward what you want to create rather than what you want to leave behind. Hill discovered that the most successfully transformed individuals had developed what he called personal initiative, the ability to take action based on their new identity rather than waiting for external circumstances to change. They understood that transformation happens from the inside out, not the outside in. They began acting as their transformed selves before the external evidence appeared, and this consistent action based on their new identity caused their external world to reshape itself to match their internal transformation. Personal initiative and transformation means making decisions, taking actions, and responding to situations as the person you're becoming, not as the person you've been. This creates a powerful feedback loop where your actions reinforce your new identity, which inspires more actions aligned with that identity, which further strengthens the transformation process. One of the most profound insights Hill shared about transformation is that it requires what he called cosmic consciousness, an expanded awareness that transcends your personal limitations and connects you to infinite possibilities. Hill found that transformed individuals had developed the ability to tap into this cosmic consciousness through meditation, deep thinking, and spiritual practices that expanded their awareness beyond their personal identity. Yes, this cosmic consciousness is what allows you to truly disappear from your limited self and emerge as someone capable of achieving what previously seemed impossible. It's the recognition that you are not limited by your past, your circumstances, or your current identity. You are a conscious being with infinite potential for growth and transformation. He'll also emphasize the importance of definiteness of purpose in transformation. This means having absolute clarity about who you want to become and what you want to achieve through your transformation. Vague desires for change aren't sufficient to fuel the complete metamorphosis Hill described. You need crystal clear vision of your transformed self that is so vivid and compelling that it pulls you forward and makes your current identity feel obsolete. Your definite purpose becomes like a magnetic force that draws you toward your new identity while simultaneously repelling everything that doesn't align with that identity. It gives direction and focus to your transformation process, ensuring that every thought, decision, and action moves you closer to your transformed self. The final principle Hill identified in successful transformation is what he called persistence. But this isn't ordinary stubbornness or blind determination. This is intelligent persistence based on faith in the natural laws of transformation. Hill discovered that transformation often happens in stages, with periods of apparent stagnation followed by sudden breakthroughs. Those who successfully complete their transformation understand this rhythm and persist through the challenging periods with unwavering faith in the process. This persistence is sustained by the burning desire we discussed earlier, reinforced by the auto-suggestion and organized thinking that keep your new identity alive in your consciousness, supported by your mastermind alliances, and guided by your definite purpose. It becomes not just persistence in action, but persistence in identity, the unwavering commitment to being your transformed self, regardless of current circumstances. Hill's research revealed that every person has within them the power for complete transformation. But most people never access this power because they don't understand how to disappear from their current identity and reconstruct themselves according to their true potential. They remain trapped in patterns of thinking, feeling, and behaving that were appropriate for who they used to be, but are completely inadequate for who they could become. The process of transformation Hill described is not quick or easy, but it is scientific and reliable. When you apply these principles with consistency and faith, transformation is not just possible, but inevitable. You begin to disappear from your old life, not through escape or avoidance, but through the natural process of growth and evolution that occurs when you align yourself with the fundamental laws of mind and consciousness. If you found these insights valuable and want to continue your journey of transformation, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more content on personal development and success principles. Remember, the principles Napoleon Hill discovered are not just theories, they are practical tools that have been proven by countless individuals who have successfully transformed their lives. Your transformation begins the moment you decide to disappear from who you've been and commit to becoming who you're meant to be. The power is within you right now. The question is, are you ready to use it?